Welcome back to Married Life U Chat Time with Rick and Melissa Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
I guess we should say our name every time.
Oh,
We don't usually
I'm
say our
Rick.
name. This is Rick, and I'm Melissa. We're Rick and Melissa Wood. Team Wood.
Team Wood.
So today, speaking of Team Wood, today we are going to talk about marriage and kids.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on marriage and kids. We call our family Team Wood, which is why I use that transition. But tell us your thoughts about marriage and kids, Rick.
Well, I have lots of thoughts.
I do too.
First of all, we have 3 wonderful kids, and I love kids. And as my friend John Cotter says, he enjoyed making every single one, sewing every single, whatever he says. He says something funnier than I just butchered. But on a serious note, no, kids are great. Kids are fun. Kids, they take up a lot of time. They take up a lot of energy. They take up a lot of money. They eat a lot of food. But in marriage, I think it's the number one thing we have to remember is our marriage is a priority over our kids. We've all seen it. We've all done it at some.
What? We've all done
Well,
what?
let me finish.
Okay.
We've all seen it. We've all done it where we've put our kids possibly above our spouse. And that is a surefire way to, when the kids are grown and out of college, and grown and out of the house, that's a surefire way for you to go, we've been married 30 years, but now we're divorced. I'm not saying that every time that happens, that's why, but a significant factor to those, late life divorces a lot of times is because once the kids are gone, the spouses discover they don't really know each other. They haven't done the things they needed to do to stay friends, to stay connected, to stay intimate on that level. And the only commonality they had is their children. So make marriage a priority over your children. It sets an example. Tell us about that.
The best thing that you can do for your kids is to love each other. The best thing that your kids can see growing up is your value for each other and your value for your marriage. And like Rick said, if you aren't one of those people that puts your kids above your marriage, you've definitely seen people who do that. And I know that some of you're like hearing alarm bells. You're like, what do you mean our marriage is ahead of our kids? Like, our kids are priority. It's my job to take care of them. God gave them to me. I hear those arguments. For some people, hearing that marriage above kids is the order that it should be sounds crazy. But the best thing for your kids to grow up healthy and feel loved and feel safe is to see a healthy, loving marriage between mom and dad. And so it's so important that you continue to have date night, that you continue to have communication, that you continue to support each other's dreams, and all the things we've talked about in our Married Life U chats. Because we are setting we are setting the examples for our kids on what a healthy relationship looks like.
Even arguing in front of your kids. Not like
Argue in front of them.
Whatever. Just live life. Be an example to your children about loving and supporting one another.
Yeah.
Listen, your kids leave. This isn't supposed to happen. Sometimes it does. Life's inevitable. I get it. But this is supposed to be forever.
But when they move on, we don't move on.
We have each
Hopefully.
other. We have each other. Now, some of you get that. Some of you, everybody's circumstances are different. But make your marriage a priority.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is not to say that your kids aren't a priority. They absolutely are. That's not what we're saying. I think kids can add so much to marriage. But I remember we got pregnant very shortly after we got married. In fact, people were counting backwards the days just to make sure.
Pharisees.
But Abigail, our firstborn, she was born 9 months and 17 days after our wedding day. And we weren't planning on that. We were going to wait a couple years. But one thing it taught us, and looking back, I'm really thankful we had her so early, because one thing it taught us is that we didn't want to sacrifice this honeymoon stage that we were in and being newlyweds, because all of a sudden we have a kid right away. So from the onset of our marriage, we made our relationship a priority. We made date night a priority. We made communication a priority because we were still so newly married when we had our first child. And we learned the longer that we were married, man, I think that was the right thing to do, because our marriage feels healthier and stronger with each kid. We don't feel like we're losing or sacrificing in our relationship as we have more children.
Yeah, whatever she said is really good.
So, if you want to, did you have anything you wanted to add about that?
Well, I could keep talking for a long time over this, so you need to come see us sometime in person. Maybe we'll have, I don't know.
We do have a retreat in the works. Maybe, possibly. A little birdie said it might even be in Hawaii.
Don't tell anybody.
Hawaii.
Don't.
Anyway, make sure and connect with us through our website, marriedlifeu.com. If you have any questions or you just want to, connect about anything, talk to you later.